vacuum sealer. So it is a bit different from our first vacuum sealer that I did show you, as it is more powerful and has different functions or better functions. Okay, let's open it up. So in the box we have a vacuum sealing pipe. It also includes 10 of our vacuum sealing bags. So let's take a look at some of the functions of this vacuum sealer. So it has two main functions, our dry and wet function, as well as our complete vacuum sealing and our partial vacuum sealing, as well as our just simple sealing. So let's take a look at how it looks inside. Okay, so let's open it up. So let's gently lift it up from the bottom here, and as you can see, we have a little wooden board here, and the purpose of that in between our black vacuum plates is to ensure our gold strip here, which is our sealing plate, does not damage our black strip plates, which are our vacuum sealing plates. The three main functions is our complete vacuum sealing, our partial vacuum sealing, and our just simple seal. So with this vacuum sealer, we can vacuum seal both wet and dry products. Dry products such as our sweets here, and wet products such as fruits or sauce or marinades. So first, let's turn our vacuum sealer on. As you can see, when you do start up the vacuum sealer, it will automatically be to our dry function. Over here, the red light is on the dry function. So let's try our dry function using my sweets over here. Okay, so as you can see, the vacuum seal bag has two sides, our smooth side over here and our textured side. So I'm going to take a few of my sweets, or you can use any of your dry products like cheese, sweets, marshmallows, things like that for this function. Alright, so just make sure that the textured side of the vacuum seal bag is facing the vacuum seal black strips here, and also the vacuum seal bag is in between our two strips here. And then we can gently just close this down and clip it up. Okay, good. So the function is already set to the dry function, so all we have to do now is press the vacuum seal button. So during the vacuum sealing, as you can see, I didn't press the seal button. So with a complete vacuum seal, all you have to do is to place your vacuum seal bag in between the two strips, and it will automatically do the sealing once all the air has been taken out of the vacuum seal bag. And during the vacuum sealer process, you may have heard a sound, which would be our two clips that are just gently unclipping here to release some of the air that is in the vacuum seal compartment. So before taking it out, we are going to release more of that air in our vacuum seal compartment by gently just pressing down a few times on our orange button here. Okay, and then we are just going to gently lift up our vacuum seal here. And as you can see, our vacuum seal bag has completely taken out the air out of our bag here, and it has sealed quite nicely, I might add, my sweets. Okay, so let's take a look at our second function, which is our wet vacuum seal function. So as you can see, once we put it on, our dry function is already set. So let's press our function button, and the red light here will be on our wet function, which indicates that now we will be using our wet function of the vacuum seal. So over here you can see I already have my fruits in my vacuum seal bag. So what we're going to do now is just to gently open up our vacuum seal here, just like before, and place our textured side of the vacuum seal bag in between our black vacuum seal plates, and then just gently close the vacuum sealer and clip it up here on the sides. Okay, and then we will press the vacuum seal button. the seal is still in progress. Once the red light has been turned off, that means that the seal has successfully been completed. So during this vacuum seal process, you may have heard the sound that is the clip that is gently being unclipped slowly because some of the air needs to be taken out of the vacuum seal chamber. So before we open our vacuum seal, we will press the orange button gently to relieve some of the air that is in the vacuum seal chamber, and then we will gently open up our vacuum seal. Okay, and as you can see here, our fruit has successfully been vacuum sealed and it looks really good. Okay, as I mentioned before, the vacuum sealing box also contains a vacuum sealing tube, which you can use to vacuum seal your products that you want to put into a special container and keep them fresh. So how do we use this function? Okay, so previously we used the wet function. So now we're going to press the function button and turn it to the dry function. Okay, as you can see, the red light is on the dry function. So we have a vacuum sealing tube here which has two parts. The smaller part is to be inserted into the small little hole here. Press it down nicely. Okay, and now let's take a look at our vacuum container. So on our vacuum container, as you can see, we have two white circles. The larger circle contains numbers from 1 to 31. This is, and also a smaller circle here which has a pointer, so you can record the date in which you sealed your product. Also, the smaller circle contains numbers from 1 to 12, so you can remember which month as well you sealed your item. So let's give it a try. So I'm going to put some of my marshmallows here into the vacuum container. Okay, here we go. And I'm just going to put the lid on here. Okay, so the bigger end of the vacuum pipe, we're just going to fit it in nicely to the middle. Press it down nicely to the middle of the container. All right, and then we are going to clip in our vacuum sealer. All right, and then now all we have to do is simply press the vacuum seal button. So now the vacuum seal process has been successfully completed and my marshmallows are going to be fresh in this container. So before we remove the vacuum seal pipe, we just gently press a few times on the orange button here to relieve some of the air that is in the vacuum chamber. Once that's done, I'm just going to gently pull this out. And here you go. I have successfully vacuum sealed my marshmallows. So now, as you can see, I cannot open it. I cannot open it. There's no air in the container and also it cannot be opened. Okay, so now what if I want to eat these marshmallows? How do I open it? Okay, so in the middle here we have a small little circle. So all we have to do is just basically pull the circle up just a little bit. Okay, so all the air has now been put back into the container and relieved, and as you can see, it's so easy to open the container now once the air has been put back into the container. And here you go, it's good to eat. Okay, as you saw earlier, I used a vacuum container to keep my marshmallows fresh, but these vacuum containers are sold separately, so if you want to order the vacuum sealer, please mention it in your order and we will gladly sell it to you. In these vacuum canister set, it does contain 4 containers of 4 different sizes that you can use to vacuum seal. As you can see in the picture, some chips, marshmallows, dried pasta, and things like that. Okay, so as you can see here, the vacuum containers come in 4 different sizes. You get a small size, a bigger size, a medium size and also a large size.